Hey guys, how's it going? So, another week, another mobile suit, and we already knew what we were getting, but got to try it out in the actual, I guess I'll go and show the video again so I can talk about it a little bit, but got to try it out in the little trial section, so if you haven't done the new PvE, go try it out there. Its machine gun is a 6-round burst, 2 shots total, essentially, because you can, of course, you can cancel it if you want. But other than canceling, you got 2 bursts to get your total of 6 rounds off. Now it seemed to do 100% stagger in 6 shots. Anything that has damage control seemed to not get stunned. I believe the other one was tested was on a Methus, which either has damage control 1. If it has 2, then we might be able to test on a damage control 1 suit. But it looks like the damage control does prevent it, at least whatever the Methus has. Those Vulcans there are a one-shot thing that stuns. They're just an instant stun, which is kind of nice in contrast to the other thing. Other than that, it has the Dryson swing. No heavy attacks here, just knock over swing from that. Really good damage though on everything. 2 punches with those as well. What was the in-between? What was that? Oh, okay, that was just from the stun, showing the insta-stun from the Vulcans. Now they seem to do okay damage from what little missiles hit, but even on the ground, they were pretty inaccurate. Luckily, it does have 2 other sets of funnels that it can actually use instead of just having those, and that's it. You do have a side funnel that seems to do a decent amount of damage, and a follow funnel that stuns in 2 shots. So overall, pretty solid for the set of weapons that it has. I was not expecting the extra funnel stuff, so that definitely helps it out in the range department. And then as far as being able to just melee, it seems to be pretty okay. So, you know, it's decent. I mean, it does have one good thing going for it, I guess, is it does have a double dodge roll outright rather than having to wait for a biosensor. I'm just not exactly convinced that this thing is the biggest competitor to the enhanced double Zeta. As far as having weapon options, it's pretty nice, but you're not going to essentially one-shot something with a giant heavy attack because this thing doesn't have one. So overall, I would maybe compare it something to maybe the Yagdoga. But even then, I don't know. I'm not exactly sold on this suit yet. It does seem to have decent range damage, which again is definitely something to its favor with how big it is, and having a double dodge roll at all times is very good. It does have, though, which I do like, maneuver armor level 4. So if you're boosting, you actually have a 30% reduced damage modifier, which is really nice. So as far as this maneuver armor goes, you can actually get, and I don't know if the stun value is reduced for stagger buildup, but it does look like it has some things going for it with having more consistent tools than the enhanced double Zeta as far as defense mechanics. Overall, though, I think it is definitely a solid suit. Is this a 4-star? I think this is about as much of a 4-star as the Beerlant Custom is a 4-star, but the benefit is if you have been saving your tokens, you might have enough to get this suit guaranteed through all of its 7 steps, because I'll go ahead and show that here. There is a 7-step banner as well. So overall, it definitely is a good suit. It's really cool. Using it in the trial, you can go ahead and kind of decide for yourself whether you want to spin on it. Now again, you can't put parts on it, and you can't go ahead and set what weapon usage you're going to use, but it definitely is pretty cool that they give these trial suits a thing. And again, they could just keep adding them. I'm just saying, if they just kept adding the new banner ones to these trials, I think that would be an insanely positive direction they could go for people that are curious about any of these suits, instead of just having to go off word of mouth. Overall, though, do I think it can compete with the enhanced double Zeta? Not really. Can it compete with everything else? And is it better than other things? Probably. I think this could be second, third, or fourth. Probably top 5 for sure raid-wise, which actually at 700 isn't probably that hard to do, but it is probably, I would say, second or third best compared to the enhanced double Zeta. Other than that, though, we'll have to just wait and see how it feels. As a support player, I haven't got to play against it enough to actually have an opinion on how terrifying this thing is heading at you. But with Maneuver Armor 4, if that lowers the percentage down a little more, that could be very terrifying. And with no way to like stun lock it like you can the enhanced double Zeta, being able to just get dodge rolled at is pretty terrifying, especially where this thing can just knock you down outright. So that's another thing to take into consideration. Just being knocked down, stunned, and then just straight knocked down and then followed up on is a very terrifying thing. Especially if this thing can one combo people, which we haven't got to see yet, as we didn't get to try really any games against it, and I only got to play one this morning, and sadly there was none of the new suit in it. But anyway, I'm really curious to know how well it can stun, knock down, and then try to one combo a support from there. But yeah, that's the big question. If you can one combo, stun, knock down, and one combo, I think this thing is fine. It is definitely a solid raid, and it'll definitely be probably top 2 and just under the enhanced double Zeta. But anyway, it's going to be a pretty long one, so I'll go ahead and leave it there. I might speak on the suit a little more later if I kind of change my mind or remember that I changed my mind on it. But anyway, they have the normal suit for the suit. There we go, the Neo Xeon 4. I think that's a new one anyway. It looks new to me. The Ashimar, the Kaplant, and the DJ level 4 coming in. And cool, I guess, but I mean, it's 700 at that point. Really meh on all sides there. I mean, they're solid suits at their base cost, but other than that, at level 4, kind of weak sauce. The main other thing here in this step up, other than the half off, which is what I would recommend doing at the very least, the guaranteed part, if you happen to go all the way, is a overtune part, just like the thrust. Only this is for melee. This is going up to a total of 12% extra damage at a suit level of level 4. Being level 1 gives you 3%. So, pretty cool, interesting parts they're adding here to kind of, boost higher level suits at the same time. If anybody knows what the actual part slottage is for this, please let us know in the comments down below. But I would assume it would be comparable to kind of what the boost one was, which I believe was like 1.4 or something like that for medium and close. So it's probably not that expensive, but it's probably something around there. Especially for a big suit, it's going to be pretty easy to slot on, but again, less levels. Interesting with these parts though, it kind of helps bring leveled up suits kind of back in, which could be cool eventually when we get enough of these parts for other things, maybe health and things like that, to where it actually kind of buffs these level 4 suits enough to where they're a lot more viable. For now though, having just the thrust and having the melee damage is really cool. The damage one is definitely pretty interesting, but I don't know if it's enough yet to, well, until we get some defensive parts that also scale, specifically health and actual defense mitigation. Anyway, moving on. Report function stuff. They're just reminding everybody that they are banning people without warning. So yeah. Yeah, pretty much if you've done something and you've messed up, you can be suspended, your account completely banned, and they do not have to really tell you anything. So yeah, I'm pretty sure is the thing there. Furthermore, if there are false reports, you can end up in the same boat. So don't just report everybody around you for no reason. Then we have the actual festival itself. So they're giving out, for the 4 weeks, 40 free boxes with 4 3-star or higher, right there, rarity or higher. Mobile suits guaranteed. That's pretty nice. Pretty cool there. As far as the actual weeks are concerned, the first week is the 72-hour step up if you've looked at it. You'll see what that is. We'll look at the exact suits here in a second, and I'll give my opinion on that. Other than that, though, second week is the unobtained stuff that they do. So step 3 is a unobtained 2-star, and step 4 is an unobtained 3-star or higher rarity. Kind of meh, especially for doing a full 4-step up kind of thing here. Pretty rip. And also, who knows if they're doing something for a 5th week or something after it. So, could be a bait. I wonder if they're doing another 4-star after. Honestly, maybe since it's half off, might do the first step. The main thing to check is the actual supplies in the first step supplies. For this one, second week, I'm not even going to touch that. Third week, there is a half off, so I might try the half off. Other than that, though, I mean, the final step's all mobile suits, but that's 4 steps. That's pretty rip. The fourth one, series-specific mobile suit step up. That could be kind of cool. We've seen it in the past, but most likely, probably not going to be something I go for personally, but it could be kind of interesting depending on what they put in this one based on the series. Let's see. Then we have the mission suit, which is the Schutzer Zaku 2. So yeah, pretty cool. It's got like some kind of cannon here and a punch arm that shoots out. So kind of interesting. And yes, this can go on the ground, even though when I first saw it, I thought it was just a space-only suit. But yes, this thing can go on the ground. Kind of interesting. Then if you're a new or returning player, they're given the bonus again, especially if you're a new player, that stacks with the new player bonus that they have that's just now in the game by default. And every third box, if you're a new or returning player, is a guaranteed recon crate. I wish the recon crate part was to the entire game, but hey. Then they talked about the Zaku 4 there. Oh, here we go. Quick start pack, 70% off. Right now, for $8, you can get 31 tokens and 100,000 DP in the PSN store. So if you're interested in that, there you go. Nice 31 tokens and 100,000 DP for only $8. Pretty good. I'm thinking about it. Sadly, this list, I'm just going to leave the list up when we get there. There's really nothing too crazy. I'll say the notable suits, but it's pretty weak sauce with these for the new player suits. Actually, I might just read them all off, but yeah, we'll see that here in a second. It's pretty weak sauce. Honestly, they should have done more, but I guess we'll take what we can get. I was hoping this would be some kind of crunch, but this is just giving like new players a list of suits that are okay, and if they're still showing this price here, that's still overpriced. Like, please help. Then they've got 300th suit now in the game. Okay, cool. Moving on, we've already talked about the weeks. Each week you get 10 suits and 1 3-star. Here we go, this. So step 1 for this first 72-hour step up. Zero Shiki, type 2. Pretty meh. Jigen, level 1. Hell Rider, VG, level 1. And Red Rider, level 1. Okay, so nothing really that bad here. But if you're doing this for these specifically, I probably would, maybe the Red Rider. Red Rider is definitely probably the best out of these as far as toward their role and level. So I can see that. Step 2, feeling kind of meh. Z2, not a fan personally. Gaz R and L, not the craziest suits to go for a step 2. And Amethyst Kai, as much as I like my supports, can't really recommend that one either. Definitely kind of an interesting suit though. I've seen some interesting play come out of it. But yeah, feeling pretty weak sauce. Big one here though, and the one that I can actually recommend is the step 3. Now 2 of these are level 2 at 700 with the EXS level 2 and the Cubulate Mark II level 2. But they still definitely hold their own at 700 cost. So step 3 is pretty cool. So if you're just swimming in tokens, then maybe you could go all the way with this, considering that there is a new 4-star. You would just go for the new 4-star instead of the Cubulate Mark II or the Dija CA. And the DGCA is 650. Game Mock is in here too. I absolutely love this suit now. After the buff, it's insane. Can highly recommend getting that ASAP. But the thing is, if you're going for the step up, I don't recommend that really. The step up definitely isn't worth just for a fourth of a chance at a suit that would be really cool. And I mean, that's the thing. If you're only needing like the DGCA or the Game Mock, probably not worth, because you got to go through all these steps to have a chance of even getting there. The other thing is, what is the actual supply drop? And the reason why I'm curious is... Wait, here we go. Selected aircraft, the same supplies will be drawn from the ongoing supply drops. Okay. So that's what I was curious about. So I might actually do the half off, because it's just like a half off spin normally on the current banner without the bonus for the new suit. So that could be kind of cool. I might check that out. So depending on my tokens, we might give it a go. Overall though, again, too many tokens though here for doing all three steps just for a chance at one of these. If you actually need all four, then I can see something going on here for that. This one definitely is for the newer players, I think is what they kind of made this one for. But still, some of these suits I don't actually have, or yeah. So, I mean, even for somebody who doesn't have them, I'm not going to really go out of my way to get a couple of these suits. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, didn't we just get the Red Rider in the ticket shop? So, yeah, you can just wait for that to possibly pop up if that's the one you're going for. Anyway, overall, kind of weak sauce for this banner, considering we've got the new suit banner right here. Other than that, we have the... oh, here we go. Here's the Zaku 2 that we're getting. Again, it has a lot of weapons on it. It has this added to, looks like a Sturmfaust, which I'm assuming is one of his weapons. The machine gun with grenade launcher and the Heat Hawk. But it's also got a punch. I couldn't tell if that was a heavy stun in a video I saw about it or what. But the punch and the beam rifle as well is pretty nice. Kind of interesting to see if that extra bit... Oh, it is a 350 suit, by the way. But kind of curious to see if this suit can actually kind of compare and compete with other 350s with that bonus. That punch being on a line might be a heavy stun, though, is what I was getting at. So it'd be kind of cool to see if you could actually stun a GOG, for instance. But you can get a level 1 and 2, so 350 and 400 for both of these. Good luck if you try this suit, and let me know in the comments down below what you think about it. It could be actually pretty cool for a actual Zaku 2 suit to be used, especially at 350. The other thing is they are giving out up to 3-star tickets, 50 of each, and 200,000 DP, which is much appreciated. Other than that, we have the new player stuff. I've already talked about that, so we'll skip ahead. Here's the PvE stuff. So the two bosses, you just fight one and then the other. So pretty easy, straightforward there. Overall, the trial, the survival, which is mainly killing supports. So if you're doing it solo, take in some form of raid. Just play the Zaku 4, pretty easy there to solo. And honestly, this one's pretty easy if you have something that does decent damage in space, be a Super Gundam or some kind of raid like the Mark II Cubile, or even if you have the enhanced double Zeta, then this is insanely easy solo. So there you go. Then for each of these, the rewards are 50,000 DP a Mudrock and 3 tokens, 50,000 DP a Mark II Gundam, 3 tokens, and 50,000 DP Yakushiki and 3 tokens. Yeah, you know what? Let's go and open the various adjustments. Wait, no, this is the previous one right here. Whoops, I just opened that twice. Moving down though, we have the materials that have been added for Private 1. So I'm going to kind of go through these pretty quick. The notable ones here I will point out though are the Marasai and the Peasant Dewage. I think are really nice for generals. For the raids, we're getting the Akai, I guess, for 200 cost. The thing is, I know a lot of people don't really care for the 200 one, but that's kind of nice. And a lot of these were decently already obtainable by just playing as a new account and, you know, grinding early on. So unless they actually did some kind of crunch that we missed behind the scenes, Well, yeah, it's kind of... Oh, wait, sorry. The above mobile suits include those mobile suits that are now possessed from the start of New Game due to previous updates. Oh. Wait. Regarding the DP counter, below mobile suits, conditions has changed to private 1. Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. Yeah, this is this is exactly what we're looking at. Never mind. But they've... Okay, they're still there because of the previous ones. That's like the G3. Okay, got it. Cool. So, yeah. Okay, back to what I was saying, though. So now there's that symbol next to it to show that it is one of these suits. Maybe the Draw C and then the prototype Gundam is nice, but I'm pretty sure the prototype Gundam you could get by, what is it, Corporal? The one little diamond, which is pretty easy to reach on a new account these days. Support, I guess, the Gigan, which is 200 again, so there's the problem with that. The Rabbit type, which is really nice for the Zaku Cannon. Yes, please. That is a big one I didn't expect. The Zaku 2 Heavy Arms is kind of nice, but again, 200. 400 cost, we have the Gelgu Ground type. I know people really like that suit. Personally, I'm not a fan. 300, I mean, they were giving that one out to start to begin with. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So not really much in the way of support, sadly. We do have a Zaku Cannon, or sorry, Gelgu Jaeger at 450. I think that one is new, so that is pretty nice. Overall, though, other than that, I mean, the Gelgu Jaeger has kind of fallen off pretty hard recently, so I wish they could have done a little bit more for raids and supports, because it doesn't look like they have too much here to help out the raids and supports early on. Definitely going to be seeing a lot of generals doing well in comparison to these. 450, I think the Marasai is amazing, especially with the changes to it. That said, I think you have to find the Fedayeen prototype rifle, so there is that. They've definitely buffed that to insanity since, so I guess you kind of got to get lucky. But I mean, at least it's a solid suit outright, and it has something for a heavy stun. So there's that. Other than that, though, we have the... What is this? Supply drop. Oh, this is the history stuff that they were talking about. If you want to look at what you've gotten recently. Here is the premium suits. Looks like the Char Dija is probably going to be the first one, I'm assuming. And now, hopefully this updated. Okay, here we go. So if you well, there you go. You can just well and get the Char Dija that way. So if you're going to spin on one, you pretty much get the Char Dija. So there's, again, why would you do that other step up? Then we have the Z2 as the second section of the month. And the possible free one is the mass production Cubile, which is amazing. So if you play enough and you've been playing long enough and get enough tickets for your boxes, especially since they're giving out a bunch of free boxes, there's a good chance you could get the mass production Cubile for free or very little token investment. Specifically, since there is a 31 token $8 pack out right now, that can be very easy to obtain. Moving on, though, we have the actually moving. Yeah, let's move this over. Moving back to here. Here we go. The RT shop. We got the O. Huge here. The O is amazing. A great suit. Can recommend trying. Curious to see how many tickets it's worth. I'm guessing about 415, something around there. So if you have the tickets, could be one to look out for if you don't have something at that cost already. Garadoga level 1 and 2 is in there as well. Okay, that's a pretty solid suit, especially after the buffs. Night Seeker V level 3. Can't really recommend that being level 3. The Garadoga, depending on the cost of its tickets, I could recommend the level 1 if it's somewhere close to 200. Other than that, though, the Dryson level 1 and 2 is now in the DP store. This is pretty terrifying, actually, as the suit is still really gross. And spoilers, there was no nerf to it in the buffs and nerfs. Other than that, Hammurabi level 2 is pretty nice. It's still not that crazy power creeped at that point, so could recommend trying that as well. Still has its damage, and with the buffs to the Fedayeen rifle, pretty solid. Everything else kind of ripped based on the level of the suits. We have the Zaku Diver coming to Clan Match. We don't know the stats on it or anything yet, so we'll have to wait and see. It is a 400 cost, though, general suit. So it looks like it does have the sub-rock gun, and it doesn't really have anything else. Equipped with a variety of firearms. Amphibious machine, of course, with, okay, cool, nothing. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what this actually has. Overall, though, yeah, I'm digging that visor. Looks really cool. Definitely curious to see what it can do. Again, it is a 400 cost suit. So definitely giving us something a little bit higher that's not just the high gog. Fixes. I'll just leave the fixes here up on the screen. Nothing too crazy, look like, from what I could tell. And now we'll go ahead and actually click on the clan ranked because I forgot to go over here to it. 6v6 basic this weekend, early morning round. And then next week, 350, answering that question on the 9th, 4v4. So that'll be late night, 4v4, 350, simple battle. At this point, though, sadly, it's going to be top 3 teams getting this suit. So good luck. So you have to get top 3 to even have a chance. 4 after that, though, would be 100, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Would be top 40. And then the next one after that would be the top 100 for late night rounds. So that should be it. So yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what this suit can do. Hopefully we have some kind of video out by next week from somebody, and I'll go ahead and throw that up, and we can show that off on possibly the podcast, depending on how much we delay the podcast, or next week's update video. Moving on, though, we can go ahead and hop into the buffs and nerfs, quickly going over anything that was, speaking of the Marasai, it got buffed. Look at that. Let's go. Looking good. GM ground type. Kind of funny to see those numbers go up. Desert Gelgoog, I feel like it needs more, but the numbers seem pretty average there. Not bad. Paimo Zaku ground type AS. Oh, that's the one from Code Fairy. And then these were just normal buffs. It actually wasn't that much last month's update. RS Jarja getting a decent buff here. Still below average. Definitely could see that coming. You really need to go into melee range. Really curious to see if they do anything else with this, because it's still kind of below average. The health might have been enough, though, to keep it from dying too much. Zaku 2 sniper type, that's from the Code Fairy thing, also gaining some benefit here. Still below average, as I could have guessed that would have been. Yeah, definitely nice to see it getting buffed, but yeah, it doesn't really surprise me that that didn't go too far. Other than that, though, the Fedayeen rifle buff, pretty nice, as well as the GM Nightseeker V actually showing some good numbers with it too. That's pretty cool. I actually love every time they buff that because, you know, like I just said, I like the Marasai. But anyway, yeah, there's that one. Now moving into the final buffs and nerfs section here, and then we'll wrap up. The Stark Jeganas is the first one this month getting a buff. Kind of surprised to see it get a buff that early. I thought it was pretty solid, but going to 4 shots on its beam rifle and 18-second reload time, with 17,000 to 18,000 health being a buff, and 63 to 66. It says maneuver. I'm pretty sure that's turn speed. I'm going to go with turn speed on that one. Could be thrust, but I'm going to go with turn speed because that's normally the number they do for turn speed increase. 3-tube missile pod going from 18-second reload to 16, and the change time is reduced. Really nice there. Honestly, the reload times might up its damage a bit. It doesn't really need too much damage, but I don't know if this is completely necessarily going to be enough. I'm curious if the numbers was out of, like, people overusing it, because I definitely think this is a suit that you could probably need one of, and that's about it. You probably don't want to stack this suit too much. Still feel it's solid, but I was kind of surprised to see some of these lower numbers as far as win rates and the survival time specifically. Full Armor Gundam Mark II is getting a buff as well. Anti-blast, really nice. That way if it kills something in melee, it doesn't just get hard stunned. The main weapon reduced the heat rate during focus fire, increased stagger accumulation value during focus fire. The stagger accumulation has increased for its grenade launcher. That is very nice. As being somebody that's been a support on the receiving end, didn't really feel that too much, because I'm pretty sure the grenade launcher was just more for supplemental damage, is what everybody talked about. I mean, this suit has so many problems. Now, I could be misremembering another grenade launcher, but I'm pretty sure it's the one that you just kind of supplemented some damage. And that was it. I don't recall actually it stunning. If it is more kind of like the Zeta grenade launcher, then my bad, I am definitely misremembering. For the twin beam gun grenade launcher, that one's going down to 10 seconds, so you can get a consistent stun out a little easier. But overall, I feel like this suit's going to need a lot more help. I am very surprised, honestly, of the damage done, but with its gimmick and everything else and being able to just stun this thing, I am not surprised that the win rate is so low, and I am actually kind of surprised that the loss rate isn't higher than what it is. Maybe because you can stand there and tank a lot of hits is why its loss rate isn't as higher, but yeah, I definitely was expecting the damage and the amount lost to be worse than what it actually is in these numbers. But everything else makes complete sense to me. Haimo Zaku. Kind of an old suit here, getting some touch-ups. 195 is its new high-speed movement maneuver. Okay, I'm going to go with turn speed, especially now. 51 to 54. Increased movement speed while moving left and right. That's always a great quality of life. And the level 3 gaining reaction boost program and thruster output increase level 1. Stagger accumulation of the Zaku machine gun has increased, and the range... Oh yeah, so the shake of the weapon has decreased. Nothing too crazy there. I don't think anybody's really rocking this past its level 1. But yeah, definitely pretty solid with the boombox at level 1. Pretty cool suit. Probably has fallen off to power creep. I don't know if this is enough to bring it back, considering some of these numbers here. I feel like they should have done a little bit more, but you know, they're starting with a small touch-up for now, so we'll see if we get more later. Zuda F, we've definitely had buffs to this in the past. Level 2 power for its main weapon is getting increased from 2415 to 2500, and every other level from there on is also getting increased. Reduced rigidity state after weapon use, that's a huge quality of life even for the level 1. An improvement made to increase accuracy. I'm really curious what that means. I'm guessing hitbox of the projectile. Zaku machine gun stagger accumulation has been increased and the blur is down. So hopefully it can actually do something other than nothing at all. So yeah, definitely I'm going to try testing out the Zuda F at least one game, because the machine gun still does nothing even after their buff. I still can't believe they buffed its damage from 30 damage per bullet when you hit a target to 40. It is still no damage. Hilariously comical how much little damage it would do. Freet Jaeger. So yeah, this is actually getting touched up. I was surprised to not see it last month since they were doing a lot of the Cold Fairy stuff. But turn speed is increased. This one's actually saying turn from 54 to 57. Reload time of the sniper rifle going from 15 to 12. The heat knife power increased from 22,000 to 2200 to 2300. Pretty nice there. And the sniper rifle anti-air going from 600 damage to 1000 damage. This could be pretty nice. Might be something to look at and try out again. And as you can see from the numbers, as optimistic as I was checking this out to begin with, really rip. Yeah, it didn't, well, rip might not be the right word because it didn't die. It died average amount of times, but everything else was really low. For raids, we got the Zagok, gaining kind of the old, this should probably be buff type situation here. So, optimized cooling efficiency, level 1. Level 2 through level 4, gaining various maneuver armor, thruster output, maneuver armor going from level 1 to 2. Looks like all the way from 2 to 4. Special head buffer going from level 1 to 2 at level 4. And the thruster output showing up at level 4 is where that starts. Claw of Ice Beam going from 40% heat rate to 35, and a 0.8 second cooldown time rather than a 1 second cooldown time. Consecutive fire rate has been increased for the 6-tube missile launcher, so that should be pretty nice. Hopefully you can get a stun faster if they're grouped on the target a little bit better. Then we have the win rates here and the usage being very low after level 1, going from 2.26% to 0.25%. And the win rates, of course, easily obvious that it would be this low, especially with the damage done. I don't think this is enough to actually fix that. G3 getting a buff as well, kind of being power creeped. High speed maneuverability going up to 200 from 195. Thrusters from 60 to 65. 60 to 63 turn. Unit skill, shield break, stance mastery. Let's go. Gaining that is amazing. Consecutive attack. So pretty much beam saber, you don't have the penalty for attacking with multiple times in a row, so that it's not as bad. Hopefully that's a pretty solid buff there. And then the beam rifle going from 1,200 damage to 1,400. They've done this before. Heat percentage going from 50 to 45%. Cool time is reduced from 2 to 1.5. Focused is 3.5 seconds to focus to 2.5. That's actually pretty huge. And the power during the focus is increased, as well as reduced the focused heat rate. And I believe they've literally done all of that to it once before. As well as looking at the numbers, I mean, it was obvious that it would be this low, but yeah, feels bad for the G3 getting power creep. The main one for the support, I'll save the best for last and mention the two Dom Multi-Guns. Actually, never mind. I was expecting them to be kind of the same thing. So back up to the Dagdaw, yeah. Love the Dagdaw buffs here. Kind of shows the state that it was in at 700. Will it be the, whether it be, other suits like the Gaymok having so much damage, or the mass production Cubile for burst, or having to combo in melee, which is my guess. What's wrong here is the fact that we're not seeing as much melee usage out of this suit as it can do. And they're going to help that by buffing everything else and allowing you to fire more, which is really nice. But I have had plenty of games where I've done crazy amounts of damage, but I've got to incorporate my melee, whereas just shooting, I just get by. So performance, thrusters going up from 65 to 70. The weapon range is increased from 400 to 500 on the Dagdaw beam rifle. That's pretty nice, but kind of meh overall in the grand scheme of things on this. And focus fire range is increased too, so nothing really there on that one. The mega particle cannon for the gut shotgun going down to 20-second recharge time. That is really nice. 5 seconds off of that is huge. The quadruple medical particle cannon. You heal your foe. That's the problem. No, mega particle cannon going from 600 damage per to 650 damage per. The heat percentage has been reduced from 95% to 85%, and the range has been increased by 50 to 450, and the change time has been reduced, which is really nice. Reload time has been reduced for the funnels as well, from 22 seconds to 18 seconds, and the lock-on range, hallelujah, has been increased. That was my biggest complaint with those, really. So I'll take the faster ability to fire, but the lock-on range was kind of the big deal there. Please do that with the mass production Cubile. Please? But anyway, and the Yag Doga for that matter. The quest one, that is. Dom Canon Multi-Gun. Oh, actually, looking at the numbers here, I'm not sure if we're going to see these go up that much. Enough to actually, these changes to make up for that, but we'll see. Again, I feel like it's the same thing with the RS Jarja. It needs to get in there in melee to really get full use of everything, because it has 2 melee weapons. But hey, sadly, supports can't really do that, no matter the argument, because they lack stun resistance. But yeah, that's always been the problem with any of these suits like this. Other than that, we have the Dom Canon Multi-Gun type. Level 1, so thrusters are going up on every cost 1, 2, and 3. Unit range supplement is... What? Is that range damage? I think that's range damage, going from 36 to 41 on the multi-gun. That's what I'm going to guess at level 3. The twin cannon, so the cannon itself, going to 10 bullets, which is 5 shots now. Increased explosion range upon impact. Hallelujah. It might actually have splash. Level 2 power has been increased from 840 to 900 and affecting all other levels. And as you can see, it definitely fell off. At one point, I would argue that this is one of the best at 350, but I mean, damage-wise, it has been lacking very recently. And I have to agree with the single gun as well, only their changes to make it a little more tanky, which is one thing. Well, I mean, my argument of why you would use the single over it is like it's far squishier. So they're making it tankier, giving it 14,000 health instead of 13,000, and special leg buff for level 1, and also giving its cannon 5 shots total. Other than that, you can see kind of the damage numbers. And actually, the interesting thing is the single gun seems to be where I guess the cannon does a bit more longer range, and I think it does a little bit more alpha hit, maybe, or I'm crazy one. It actually has a bit more consistent damage number, which is kind of interesting. I wanted to remember they were pretty much the same, but I could be crazy. Other than that, though, the maybe it has better splash. That would be interesting if it has better splash because of it. But overall, as the numbers don't lie here, multi-gun seem to be performing well under as far as damage goes, whereas what's interesting is win rate is actually better for the multi-gun. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe because it just has more life and is not dying as much. Actually, that's probably what it is right there, exactly. Then the white dingo. So they're continuing to look at it, and I don't know if there's actually been a change because of it, but we believe that the major reason in the decline is the results that the last adjustment made it possible so that it was very awkward in the timing for the launch timing of the beam. So I don't think they're actually doing any change, but they are going to change something probably next month is what I'm guessing this means. So we can look to see what that is then. But yeah, so they are considering following actions, okay, including readjustments in the future. Okay, so maybe next month we see the white dingo in the buffs and nerfs again. And, well, should be getting buffed. It'd be funny if it got nerfed, though. That'd be weird. But anyway, that is everything in this update. Huge update here. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about everything that was talked about. I'll try to include timestamps if I can get to them. If anybody wants to help out in the comments, I will go ahead and copy-paste in the description those. But anyway, guys, or I'll pin the comments, something like that. But yeah, guys, let me know, though, what you thought about everything in this. Did you get the new suit? Have you tried any of the new suits that got buffed? Do you have the mission suit yet? Are you going to be going for the Deja Shar Welling suit here? Are you going for the top 3 in clan match? If you happen to see the Zaku diver in a video, go ahead and post that in the comments or post it in the Discord somewhere. I'll have the Discord in the description as well. Yeah, but lots in this. Let me know any and all thoughts in the comments down below. But anyway, guys, usual stuff in the description, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, stuff like that. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. But anyway, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Peace!